फिर आए हैं, फिर आए हैं, फिर आए हैं, फिर आए हैं।
The promised Messiah ﷺ said, I pray to God that He may be with all those who are coming to attend the Jalsa, and that He may grant them great rewards, and He may show mercy and His grace. O God, O You who are the greatest granter, the benevolent and merciful, and the remover of hardships, do listen to all these prayers of mine, and grant us victory over our opponents, with great glaring signs, for You have the power to do so whatever You like. Ameen. The annual UK Jalsa Salana is a spiritual event that thousands of Ahmadi Muslims partake in each year from all over the globe. In a space of a few days, the 200-acre farm is transformed into a tent city that becomes home to the largest Islamic convention in the UK.
दुआएं करते हुए अपने काम सर अंजाम दें। अल्लाह ताला आप लोगों को आसन रंग में खिदमत की तौफीक अता फरमाए और अल्लाह ताला इस जलसे को भी हर लिहाज से कामयाब करे।
The aim behind this remarkable event is to allow Ahmadi Muslims to take part in a 3-day journey to promote the true teachings of Islam whilst enhancing their own knowledge. The blessed presence of His Holiness, the head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community worldwide, encourages the Ahmadi Muslims to unite and promote the true teachings of Islam. Thousands of volunteers work hard each year to make this influential convention a success. Their effort, day and night, has only one aim: to ensure the best for the guests of the promised Messiah alayhi salam. Every job, whether big or small, plays a crucial role in the coming together of Jalsa Salana. These volunteers sacrifice their jobs and other responsibilities to allow them to focus their time in assembling the Jalsa Gah in preparation for Jalsa Salana. Many of these preparations begin days before the assigned days of Jalsa. The officer Jalsa Salana, Nasir Khan, gave us an insight into how these preparations take place.
The role of Officer Salana, I suppose, is to coordinate everybody's work. So it really starts with the end of one Jalsa and the beginning of the next. There has to be a lot of coordination between the various workers of Jalsa, the various nizamats. And of course the 3 key areas for us are Jalsa Salana, Jalsa Gah and Khidmat Khalq. We try and have our meetings regularly to make sure that we iron out whatever the red book points were from the previous year's Jalsa. So effectively my role is to chair that coordination and make sure that all the nizamats work together.
Our talk with the Officer Khidmat Khalq highlights how all the departments work together to achieve the success of Jalsa Salana.
You know, cycling for Jalsa, I think, is the best mode of transport because this is a big site, around 20 acres in total. You know, the whole round you can do in 30 minutes or 25 minutes. So, but if you just walk and do your round, so it will take at least 2 hours to complete. So it increases the efficiency. Now, by the grace of Allah, we have 51 sub-departments within Khidmat Khalq. So the overall in charge of Khidmat Khalq called Afsar Khidmat Khalq, and under Afsar Khidmat Khalq at the moment we have around 6 Naib Afsaran.
It is the job of the Officer Jalsa Gah, Imam Atal Mujib Rashid Saab, to ensure that all the key moments of Jalsa Salana run smoothly.
Well, by the grace of Allah, the role I have to perform is the Officer Jalsa Gah. And this is a role which is very important because the whole proceeding of the Jalsa that takes place in the marquees, and I have to look after these arrangements of the programs, the marquee and loudspeaker, PA, recording, photography. There are so many things which I have to look after that.
Well, as far as the site is concerned, it's a 210-acre farm So for the periods outside of Jalsa, the outside of the 28 days, this runs as a farm, and the caretaker here, Bisharat Kalu Sahab, he's very much the person who takes care of the whole site, cutting the grass regularly, looking after the animals here.
जलसे में जो 3 वीक्स पहले जो होता है वो ये है कि दूध वाला तो मेरा ड्यूटी वाला तो चलता रहता है, दूध 2 टाइम उनका निकालना है। उसके अलावा ये घास वगैरह का फिर कोई लेवल वगैरह ज़मीन करनी होती है, पत्थर फेंकना है जहाँ पे भी वो फेंकना है। हाँ जी, किसी को हेल्प चाहिए उसके साथ करना है काम, कोई पानी वाले टैंक छोड़ के आने हैं, ये सारा टॉयलेटें वगैरह हैं वो मूव करनी पड़ती हैं। ये जलसे के रिलेटेड जो चीज़ें हैं वो मेरी होती हैं। हाँ जी।
So by the grace of Allah, Khidmat al-Khalq is one of the departments, one of the big departments within Jalsa Salana. One is Jalsa Salana, another is Jalsa Gah, another important department is Khidmat al-Khalq. Those who are overlooking different other sub-departments like car park, security, scanning, and external liaising with police and with fire services, fire and safety. The department is overseeing and overlooking all these.
The setting out of the marquee takes place many, many weeks in advance. So 4 weeks ago, our team was here setting out, putting the thread lights here, making the levels are right, make sure that all the marquees, as per the plans, are set out on the ground.
All the blue lines, and you can see the angles, and every marquee been notified to. This is the size of the marquee, which is 15 by 25 on this side, and all the white flag you can see on the ground. This is the identifier for us to and my team for either toilets and showers, and all the red flag which is on my right hand side is the cabins and accommodation units, which is we can mark according to the flag color.
By the grace of Allah, the Jamaat, they are working, or all the members of Jamaat, they are working with the spirit of sacrifice, and they know that this Jalsa is not a normal festival. This is Jalsa of Promised Messiah ﷺ, and there are lots of blessings in working to support the Jalsa Salana and to help the guests of the Jalsa Salana and to serve the guests of Promised Messiah ﷺ.
We have been started this work probably 2-3 months ago, and every year before we start, mainly we do all of our work in Baitul Fudur, configure everything, and after that, once everything is configured, we just move here. ये हमारा जो है इस वक्त मेन हम इधर रैक लगा रहे हैं, इधर everything हमारा इंटरनेट, टेलीफोन और वायरलेस इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी we just gonna give from here.
यहाँ पे पूरे जलसे में तकरीबन 5 मार्कियाँ लगती हैं ऐसी, और 3 लजना की तरफ हैं और 2 जो है ना मर्दों की तरफ हैं। ये वुड का काम हो रहा है, इसमें हमने ये कटन किया है यहाँ पे। अभी इसकी यहाँ पे पार्टीशंस होंगी, तो यहाँ पे यहाँ पे 3 टॉयलेट्स लगेंगी, और यहाँ पे इसकी पार्टीशन होंगे, तो ये 3 टॉयलेट्स यहाँ पे बन जाएंगे। देखें जी, ये हमारा ईमान है, हम यहाँ पे इतनी दूर से ट्रैवल करके आए हैं, और ये एक जज्बा है जमात का, अहमदियत का और खिलाफत का, कि मोहब्बत में हम यहाँ आते हैं, हर साल आते हैं अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, अपना बच्चों को छोड़ के, अपने काम छोड़ के। तो क्योंकि सबसे बड़ा हमारा काम ही ये है, अगर हम जमात की खिदमत नहीं करेंगे तो हमारे बाकी काम किसी काम के नहीं है।
Our mashallah, the workers, we call it the razakar, the dedicated workers, volunteers, they are extremely dedicated. There are some examples that some of the people, they fell ill. I mean, somebody stumbled over something and he injured his leg, he was unable to walk. But still he continued performing the duties. Sometimes they run temperature, but in spite of that, they continue performing their duties. So these are very charming and very encouraging stories of these volunteers, because they always put the work and the responsibility first. Their own comfort, their own ease, that is all secondary.
We're in charge of the flooring. As you can see, there are a number of big marquees. So the main marquees, the main guards are done by contractors, but we're actually doing the flooring for all the other marquees. So what you tend to do is, as you can see, you've got a number of logs on the floor. You create a base using the logs. You've got those metal channels, and you bring in and you connect those pallets with those channels essentially. There are a number of different parts to it. You need a team who understands how to do the base, but at the same time they also need to understand at what speed each of the team members are progressing.
The creation of the Jalsa site is only the beginning. the safety of the guests of the promised Messiah ﷺ is a vital responsibility that is achieved by the volunteers who work hard day and night.
So we have about 1,000 volunteers on a busiest day, and that could go up to 3,000 volunteers working on the day. My role on site is looking after health and safety, coordinate activities with the council, and the local council is quite heavily involved in supervising our operations in terms of whether we are legally compliant with the regulations of the country. So my job is to ensure that everything is coordinated between different departments. All the forklift drivers have got a certified ticket to operate forklift, and they're given the training by the site teams as well. So any plant that is being used on site, people need to be trained in the operation of that. As you can see, this courtyard is a very hard standing, is very busy in terms of the operations around the store, and this is the second day of our on site, and you can see how busy we are.
The site, in fact, is so big that it takes almost hundreds of cameras to make sure that we cover the whole site. We have a command and control center that controls literally every corner of this site to make sure that we have all the places covered that potentially could be a threat to the safety of the Jalsa. We make sure that all the systems are in place, and the central command center takes charge of all the CCTV. And most of our staff are well trained. Some of them work at the highest level in securities around the airports in the country and within the police. And so we're blessed by the grace of God with many talented people in the Jamaat.
We start about 3 weeks before and mark the ground, and then we are arranging all the different contractors, and according to the requirement we are just asking to for the men's accommodation and the ladies accommodation and the men's dining is we go to one of the best contractor in the UK, which we can use for the sake of Jalsa Salana. Hello.
Hello, Imran.
Yes, Andy. Andy is here. He is the foreman of the marquee group, and can you tell them to what sort of work you can do here?
Yeah, of course. So we're obviously building the men's accommodation here, which is a 30 by 55, with another men's accommodation next door, which is a 30 by 45, and then we build many more: tabshir, hazurs, tent, the ladies accommodation. We do many for Imran. He's a very easy man to work for. The site that he creates for you when you turn up is amazing. He can mark everything out. I never have to go to him for anything. He's always very well prepared.
This is the critical part again of Jalsa, because this is all our water supply that we have to have in place. So all these boys, the volunteers have been coming in, especially today they have to have this all in place because everything has to be in place. And so they brought all these tanks out from storage, and now they're really putting them in place, and they'll start chlorinating and cleaning them.
But because the demand during Jalsa is so high, we end up consuming a lot more, so we bring in tankers, and we also have a connection with our mains. Alhamdulillah, the aim is to make sure that no one runs out of water during the Jalsa. Everyone can do their wuzu, there's showers, there's toilets, such that we have a good Jalsa during that period.
Nare Takbir! Nare Takbir! Khudam al-Ahmadiyya! Jalsa Salana UK! Nare Takbir! MashaAllah.
The promised Messiah ﷺ said, "The teachings of the Holy Quran can be divided into two major categories. The first being unity of God and love and obedience to Him. Exalted be His name. The second is to treat kindly your brothers and fellow beings."
And it's down to the Jamaat's excellent work that all our people do with the local community and building confidence, because in the beginning they just did not understand who we were. They thought this Muslim community has come and they're going to disrupt our lovely peace in this area. But alhamdulillah, we've become so integrated as part of the community here in Hampshire that all the local councillors, the mayors, etc., they all come to the Jalsa. And one of the results is that we were able to get planning permission here.
As said by the promised Messiah, alayhi salam, the service of one's fellow beings means to strive for their benefit, purely for the sake of God in all their needs, and in all the relationships of mutual dependence which God has established out of true and selfless sympathy for them. All in need of help should be helped out of one's God-given capacity, and one must do his best for their betterment, both in this world and in the hereafter.